In 9.4, we discuss what guidelines you should follow for writing report decks. Increasingly, organizations are using presentation software such as PowerPoint and Prezi to write reports. These reports, called report decks, differ from the traditional style because they are designed to read as well as be presented, and therefore they must be understandable without a presenter. Often, the writer sends the report deck to an email attachment, and the audience reads the report deck on screen one slide at a time. Sometimes the writer prints the report deck as a handout for participants at a meeting. Meeting attendees go through the slide deck slide by slide and discuss key points. The slides may or may not be projected. The hybrid status of the report deck, partly report and partly presentation, explains why slides in report decks contain more detail than slides in traditional presentations. Writing a report using presentation software requires a new way of thinking about how to structure a report and how to design individual slides. To be successful, let's talk about some general guidelines. Organizations use report decks for three main reasons. First, when the organization needs a written report and plans to present the report at a meeting, a report deck can serve both functions. Producing one document instead of two saves time and it saves money. Producing that document in presentation style, such as PowerPoint or Prezi, facilitates the discussion. In an easier way to talk through the report, you can project specific sections if you need to ask your audience to find the second paragraph on page 10. Second, compared to word processing software, presentation software more easily allows you to place pictures, tables, and graphs in precise locations. Finally, many organizations use presentation software, such as PowerPoint, for writing reports because employees know how to use that software well. According to John Slick of Gateway Computers, we use Microsoft PowerPoint for just about everything. It's remarkable how often I see it. If even just for one informational meeting, we might share internally. It becomes a go-to software package that almost everyone feels comfortable with. When using it with employees, customers, the news media, and with others, everyone seems to understand it. Designing the deck effectively can be tricky. Just like traditional word processing reports, a report is a presentation software that needs to be well designed. To ensure consistency among all your slides in the report deck, establish a design and maybe feature it on the master slide. Formats on the master slide will be applied to all slides in your presentation, which will save you time and effort. And use the following guidelines. Use a basic solid background. Avoid background graphics or dramatic shading and effects. These will compete with your text and graphics for the reader's attention. Size your text box to accommodate two-line headings using a font that is approximately 22 to 24 points. This will allow you to fit sentence-style headings in the top of your slides. Leave space for a tracker on the upper left-hand or upper right-hand corner of your slides. These trackers, or sometimes called road signs, indicate the section of the deck, like a header on a word processing document. Include a footer at the bottom of each slide. The footer contains the slide number and the name of the project, and usually a copyright mark. A copyright on each slide is important because your audience may extract slides and present them out of context. A copyright will indicate to future readers that the slide originally came from you and the report deck of which your company produced. Check to see how your master slides look when printed in black and white. Although many people will read the report in on-screen color, those who print the report may often print in black and white. Designing the deck content, you want it to be easy to follow. Like any report, a good deck will be divided into sections and begin with a preview. Some decks include executive summaries. All decks include an agenda or a content slide. Individual slides also need to be easy to follow. Each slide should communicate a clear and complete point. This means that a report slide may have more text on it than a traditional presentation slide. However, this does not mean that a report deck will be text heavy. In Figure 9.13, this illustrates the headline states the main point of the slide in much the same way that a topic sentence of a paragraph states the main point of a paragraph. Then, the body of the slide provides support detail. usually in the form of a table, graph, diagram, or illustration with a few short explanation or text boxes. When designing deck slides, follow the guidelines listed on this slide. Use short sentence-style titles such as headlines, and compose each headline as if they were a topic sentence of a paragraph. Position the headlines to the left and use sentence case. Develop slide contents to support the headline. Be sure that everything on the slide reports to and supports the headline. If you have too much information on one slide, then develop a second slide on that topic. Leave enough blank space so your audience can focus on their vision. Avoid using bullets for all your text. Slide after slide of bullets can make your audience lose attention. Instead, use text in a table or text boxes. Use figures and show the relationship between ideas. Whenever possible, use visuals to help develop your idea. There are some examples of report decks in your textbook. Producing a report deck requires creating many slides, with each designed to support a key point. In Figure 9.14 in the textbook, you'll see a report deck. It is an analytical report written for the Chief Learning Officer of ISP brands, including and evaluating options for new learning management system. As you read through the report, pay attention to the annotations that identify its key features. Notice the sentence headlines and the different ways a slide content supports the headlines. Also note that this report does not include an executive summary, although some report decks do. Finally, notice that this report uses an indirect organization, leading up to a recommendation of potential vendors at the end. This organization allows the author to explain the rationale and persuade readers with benefits before recommending specific vendors. More frequently, reports are using direct organization, placing the recommendations at the beginning of the report as well as the end.